Welcome back. Thanks so much for joining. I'm very excited. I've got Liana Gergita. I hope I'm saying your surname correctly. I'm not sure if I.
Perfect.
Oh, first medal. No, this is so exciting. I've been binge watching your YouTube videos, Liana. You're the most amazing presenter on YouTube. You're a fantastic piano player. You must have a lot of enthusiastic students. Can you just tell us about yourself?
Thank you so much for inviting me here. I'm very happy to be here. Yeah, what can I say? Well, I was born in Romania. That's where the beautiful name with Gheorghita comes from, specific Romanian. I did all my studies over there. It was tough. It was communism. It was very disciplined. I didn't realize at the time that it's that tough because everybody was doing it. So only actually when I came into United States, I saw the difference. I did love the piano since the beginning. I was good at it. I never thought piano is hard. Never felt it's hard. It just came pretty natural, I can say. So probably that's my fortunate talent from God. Let's put it this way. And nothing. And then for the last 20 years, I've been in the United States. I'm in Florida, in Orlando, teaching, playing, enjoying, and that's what I do. And that's my life since I was 6 years old. So, yes.
Amazing. How have you taken to the whole online teaching thing? Is that something that you're doing? You have some of your students online as well as in person?
Very little, but I did have it during COVID. So during COVID, it's the starting point when I saw everybody start going online. It was, I was not teaching. So yeah, that was my inspiration. Let's try to do online. And then from there, we starting on learning and learning about all the gadget and technology and cameras and lights and applications. My hair was falling
It's
out.
never ending, isn't it?
And it's never ending because all the time all the application they're coming with new stuff and with new clips and you gotta learn something else. Right, so that was my starting point actually in September. It's coincidence or not 9/11.
Oh gosh, couldn't have planned it.
9/11. Yeah, you can imagine. I didn't even realize after a year passed, and I'm like, oh, 9/11 is the. Anyhow, right. So I didn't know. I saw a lot of people doing this, having hundreds, of views or so. And I said, I need to share this. I need to share my information because this is what I did my entire life. And I'm at the point when I just want to share everything. And I have so much to share. I can do, hundreds and hundreds of videos. The part that I'm like, is with the editing, with all the other technology, technicalities, situation,
Yeah,
that's,
and
yes.
you've got an amazing channel. I mean, looking at some of your numbers, I know you might be embarrassed for me to say, but look, you've got 1.2 thousand subscribers, which is amazing. You've got 324 videos up. I mean, these numbers
Yes.
might be out of date now. I know they change quickly, don't
Yeah,
they?
they
You've
change
got
all the time, right?
108,000 views. I mean,
Yes,
that's
yes,
amazing.
yes.
Big
That's
pat-
I'm like so thankful. I'm
yeah,
really, in the beginning I was like, oh my God, I have 10 views. Oh my God, I have 100 views. Oh my
yeah.
God, people are
So
watching. Okay, I need to get good.
yeah. So
Yeah.
whatever you're doing it well. What for somebody for one of the problems with YouTube can be that everybody can go on it, can't they? And I've heard you play the piano. You are an amazingly gifted piano player, and your technique is just you know how to play the piano really well. But the thing about YouTube is that anybody can jump on it, can't they? So how do you keep the quality in what you do in your videos and in your teaching and your playing? How do you make sure it's
So
quality?
my inspiration, first of all, are my students. You know, when I'm seeing they have a problem, oh, let's make a video. That's the one, you know. So having so much experience, I'm gonna back up a little bit. You know,
Yeah.
coming in the United States, whatever, many years ago. I don't want to count, but many. I was not a good piano teacher.
5 years ago.
Yeah, a few. Right, I was not good. I really was not good. It was hard. It was frustrated. I didn't know how to teach. I really didn't. You know, I did, but I didn't. You know, and then I needed to make money fast. You know, because nobody knew me
Yeah.
here. I'm new. You know, so I needed to start teaching, and I took everything, like everything, whatever. So I had. So from 5 years old to adults to even 78 years old to whatever it was, you know, and that made me to be, okay. So in the beginning I was frustrated because the mindset, you know, some that doing it definitely only for fun. They just tell me from the beginning, I just want to learn a song. And I'm like, no, you need to play piano. No, I want this song.
Yeah.
No. You know, so I'm like, and then some other, they're like, you know, I'm like, you gotta practice more. Let's talk. Let's see how we can do. You gotta practice more. And then the parents say, well, yeah, you are phenomenal. We love you, but we don't want to be a concert pianist. So whatever we're doing, we're doing. I'm like, oh, really? You pay me, you want to be good? Yeah, maybe. Right? So I had all kind of interaction from different mindset, right? So, but then in time, you know, I got used with different, so I let the student to guide me. And I'm always saying I'm not quite I am a teacher because I give you information, but then whatever you do with that information, it's up to you. Meaning I cannot move your fingers. So you need to learn how to move those fingers, right? I can tell you how, but you need to feel it. Until you don't feel it, my words are zero. So you need to do it until you feel it. So my students are my inspiration. I'm trying to be an inspiration and always be happy. I do believe right now that piano is not easy.
No.
As I thought in the beginning, for me was always easy, but not for everyone. And always they need encouragement, and I'm not even saying what I'm seeing it. I'm just saying, oh, you're trying to do this. I love, you know, trying. So always positive and positive to, you know, to be an inspiration for them, and they are inspiration for me, how to teach, how to approach this subject or the other one, because everyone is different. It's very different. You know,
Yeah.
so it's not black and white.
No. Students, for me in London, students fall into two categories. I've got young students whose parents have said, you've got to play the piano. It's just, you've got to do it. You don't have a choice. And then I have adults returning to the piano after many years who were forced to play the piano when they were young and have now chosen and love it. And I find that second category, those adults who've come to it later, I love teaching them because they're enthused, and you can just you can enjoy that. But how do you deal with those, with the younger players who it's really the parents who are behind their decision to play the piano?
Well, I'm trying to reach their mind and their soul mostly, not the piano itself, you know. And I play for them, let's play together until they're starting, you know, moving, you know. But majority there, I didn't quite met to really not want. I did have, but very little, not many. If you're starting from the beginning, when they're in the beginning 6-7 years old, they just do it because you have to do it, right? So they are open. If you get them for a couple of years, then they're gonna go, right?
Yeah.
So these practicing sessions, I'm always saying, you want to practice 5 minutes? Because everybody's saying, how much to practice? Well, it's up to you.
How long's a piece of string? Yeah.
Right. You want to play it in 1 week, the piece? You want to play it in 3 weeks? How fast you want to get it done?
Yeah.
It's up to you right now. Right. You can play 5 minutes here and then you do your math chores or, homework. And then you do another 5 minutes and then you do your whatever, writing homework or something, and you just have your fun because piano is fun. So you have your rest and then you do your fun. I'm talking about 6, 7 years old, Do not feel like it's a homework. It's your fun time to take breaks from the homework because that's the homework, the piano is we're having the piano time.
Yeah, I think you're right. Keeping it joyous, isn't it? Keeping it fun.
Yeah, keeping it fun keeping it fun because it is fun when you get the piece, but before that it's like, But when you get the piece, actually, everyone is so proud because if you would be too easy, then it's like, I got it, right? But when you put a little bit of work, you get more out of it. Like, oh, I did it. I really did it.
Yeah.
So that needs. I'm always encouraging. Yes, you did it. You did one measure. Yes, that measure. Let's celebrate the measure.
Yes. It's like those small goals, isn't it? Breaking them down, and then along the way, you're ticking them off, and it's good. So it sounds like when you started out in teaching, you had kind of high expectations that every one of your students would become a concert pianist. Yeah, is that right?
Yeah.
So how do
I thought everyone wants to play well.
How do you deal with the fact that not everybody wants to be on the stage of the the Royal Albert Hall here in London or something? How do you deal with that?
I don't deal, but I did realize that only like maybe 5% of, from, usually I'm always having of a class of 20, 25 students, right? So usually that's how much I teach, 20 to 25. That's not more than 25. I used to do 30. No. 20 to 25, that's it, right? Yeah. Because, I don't teach half an hour, unless you're doing twice a week, half an hour, because...
Interesting. So you only teach 1 hour slot?
No, 45 minutes is the best.
45 minutes.
Because that doesn't sound so much.
Yes.
But in that 15 minutes extra, it's really important because it's grounding better, Right. So unless it's a 5 years old, and that 5 years old will come twice a week and is with a sister that they are back to back or something.
Sure.
Otherwise, I don't teach. Okay. So where were we?
I can't remember. That's interesting though that you specify. You say 45 minutes. I think that's a really good idea because half an hour is too rushed, isn't it? They've hardly got their books out.
Horrible rushed, and by the way, I calling the transition. You're coming from outside, and until you settle down, 10 minutes is gone.
Yeah.
And then you have a core of 15 minutes, and then it's like, okay, the mom is almost here to take the door. Done. It's like 20 minutes. What you do there? You can't do anything.
No.
It's like wasting money for a long way in a long run. You wasting your money. I say, I'm telling to the parents, you wasting your money if you are half an hour. I'm not doing it. Yeah.
No. And do most of your students visit you, or do you travel to some?
No, I used to travel. I'm not traveling. They do visit me here. Right.
Nice.
Your question was.
I can't remember what it was, but.
How do I deal with those that they don't want to practice? Well, so first of all, I put a goal in my mind. Even if you're not a good or whatever, you don't want to be a good pianist, you will love piano and you will love music. That's my goal. You will appreciate music, you'll understand music, and so that's my goal. Everyone, it will have this from me. So even if you're not going to be a great pianist, you'll still appreciate music. Then you learn from piano, that self-discipline thing, that then you can apply it in some other subject, that you need to do it, and you need to do it over and over, even if you go to, some other subject, you need to practice. You want to be a doctor, you need to practice what you need to surgeon, and
Yeah.
you need to, and
You don't.
that's
Yeah.
self-discipline, and it's like you allow your time, and this is the spot, and then that's taboo spot that you need to do it, right?
Yeah.
So I think they're learning this from me, because otherwise they're not results. And then when they practice, they are so happy about practice this week. I'm like, wow, okay, let's do it. And then everything is joyful. And then some they're coming, I didn't practice. I'm like, okay, let's practice together next week. I couldn't practice. Well, I'm gonna get my coffee and I'm gonna tell you, play 10 times or 7 or 6. Let's figure it out. And then I'm just saying, I'm like, oh, okay. So, right. It's give or take. Yes.
I get so many students who will they say they've practiced and all they're doing is playing the first 5 bars kind of over and over again, because that's the bit of the piece they know. They never get to the middle or the end. They're so kind of
I have a tip for that.
Please
start the piece with the ending.
I love it. Somebody once said that to me. Learn a piece backwards. Start with the end, and then
learn a little bit the front, and then go to the back, and then a little bit in the front, and then to the back.
Because then you know.
Attack the middle.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen at the end. You know the end, which is good. So talk. Can you talk to us about YouTube a bit? I've been trying to analyse why you're so successful on YouTube, and I've come up with the following things. Your videos are beautifully lit. They're bright. They're captivating to look at. They're interesting. Yeah.
Yes.
And you've got an energetic style. Your style is engaging.
Well, believe me or not, I will have a coffee before I'm coming on.
So that's what it comes down to. Having a coffee. Excellent.
Well, I put myself the thought. So first of all, a subject, you think of the subject. It comes maybe from a student or something, but then you think how to put it into a way, right? In a format somehow, right? And then I sketch some notes. I'm going to talk about this, because I know my subject, but you still need to be somehow organized, somehow. No, you can't jump from one to have a
flow,
a flow, right? And so this I usually thinking during the week. It's in my cloud. The subject, I write it on a piece of paper, and it's on my table to think about. So every time I'm seeing the subject that I want to talk about, oh, okay, I can talk about this and then this, and then, so this is a mind preparation. And then I have a work. So first I'm preparing the room. That means lights on, camera, top camera, front, blah, microphone, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Then I'm preparing myself, because I need to put the makeup, to do my hair. That takes another half an hour. But first is the room, because and then it's
you get hot. Yeah.
And then I'm having the coffee to cool off and center.
Yeah.
So when I center, I really think, now I'm getting serious. Okay, what the heck I'm talking about today is this, right? So now I'm getting serious, okay. And then I'm becoming not serious, but serious. Like I always try, even in my life, because I'm coming, as I said, from the communist country, and I was very serious. And I was not talkative as I am right now. I was actually not at all talkative, at all. And blank, because in communism you don't smile and you don't show much on your face. I will tell you a story after that.
Please.
Let me go through it with my changing, right? So I always try to give the information in a light way, but it's important. Because if you are too serious, then people, they tense. If you are too wishy-washy, they're like, whatever, and then
Yeah.
the information is wishy-washy. So I'm firm on that's always I try to do it, to be firm of the information, but at the same time with some,
Yeah.
bracelets, some, I'm talking embellishments on the content. So to feel like, it's easy, it's not. And I had a student, actually, I said, oh, come on, let's go, it's easy, it's not, don't worry, just go, don't worry. And then she said, you always saying it's easy, and it's never easy.
I love it.
Yeah, right. So, yes, I think always, and then smile is very important, because even if you do an exercise, a simple exercise, if you're doing like, oh, let's mess it up, the exercise.
Yeah.
Then it sounds like, okay, I can mess it up. But because everybody's afraid to make a mistake, because
Yes.
they're going to be punished. I'm going to
Yes.
punish you. If you make the mistake right now, I'm going to punish you.
Yes.
And then we start laughing about, all right, now let's breathe and smile, So,
I think that's true as well, isn't it? People are afraid. If people are nervous about making a mistake, it comes across in how they hold themselves when they play. They're tense and everything's very constricted, and that comes across in the sound, doesn't it? That you're producing.
Immediately, everything, intenseness and everything. And that comes probably from the school or from whatever environment, when you punish with a bad grade or something, and then the parents, they start saying, oh, you gotta be responsible, and right. And then
What about
tensing. Yeah.
in terms of, say, a student has a concert coming up in a couple of weeks and they're feeling very nervous about it, what can help in their preparation to get them ready?
Well, so the performance skill or the performance, we're starting few, if it's a student, right? So I usually do 2 recitals a year, Christmas and end of school, just to make them play. Everybody must play, and then again, we celebrate the mistakes.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're not more than I'm saying. Anyhow,
Only one.
Yeah.
There any more, I will not be celebrating.
Well, only whatever, 2.
That's
The
very
third
funny.
one is like, I think you should practice more. Next time should be better, right?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I'm starting, going over and over the piece, with them here, me as a, and then I let them grade yourself.
Nice. Yeah.
Grade yourself. I think I play from 1 to 10. I usually go 1 to 10. I play 7. All right. Okay. And I'm saying, maybe 7.5. Let's make it an 8.
Nice. Yeah.
Let's make it just a little bit more. Why, if and then I'm recording. So when it's a recital, now depends on the level, because, right, but those that are at least an intermediate with a sonatina or something, CLementi something, right? So I'm recording them, and then I make them watch and say, how do you like it? How is your left hand? Left hand too loud, right hand this, So I'm recording. Let's delete and record another one and another one. So then immediately by the next week, it's improved, because they don't like it. It's like, oh, I thought it's better. And always you think, myself, I always think it's better. When I'm recording, it's like, ugh,
Yeah.
So to make them listen what you're doing, listen. But
That's so important, because you're teaching them. You're gently teaching them the skills of self appraising, aren't you? You're teaching them to sort of and that is essentially our job. I suppose our job as teachers, the pupil can leave and be able to improve independent from us almost in the future.
Exactly.
That's important. That's a life skill, isn't it, as well?
Yes, because then I can ask them, what do you think? Why do you think you make that mistake? So usually it's about focusing. Usually you just you're not paying attention or something, right? So I say, so let's focus more. So let's get more into the piece, Or if you made a mistake, go over it. Learn to go over it, because some they cannot even go over it. They want to start all over. No, 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 move. Don't stop. Don't stop. Make it up. Just create a new measure. Blah blah. Don't stop. Don't stop. Just go.
That's the key, isn't it? And getting out of that habit of, in practice, going, or sighing. I get students kind of sighing as they play.
We not sighing, we smile to the beginning to the end.
Yes. And these habits, that they stay in concert. That's the problem.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how you play. To the end, you're going to bow and you're going to smile.
Yeah. You're quite right. The more performance opportunities your students get under their belt, the more confident hopefully they'll be as well. Especially if they're those who say, oh, I don't want to play, I'm scared of doing it. Once they've done it once, then they'll come back and they'll have another go. So
that once needs to be something very easy, just to break the ice, like really easy, and just to break the ice. But this skill, then it can, because you learn to control your emotions, actually, because right, we are emotional beings, and I still have my butterflies before I'm starting playing. That doesn't mean I played million times or whatever, thousand or whatever time, and I still am emotional before a concert. But once I'm getting there, I'm like, I gotta go through the first line.
Yeah.
And once I go through the first line, I'm into the piece, and nothing will matter anymore. It's just done.
Yeah.
So this skill of embracing your emotion, being aware of these emotions, knowing and staying still strong, this will go then further if you want to just have an interview, a job interview, when you go there and then you are brainy, centered, and then start talking very fast, and then blah, blah, and then immediately everybody knows that you are having an anxiety.
I think people often forget to breathe as well when they're playing. I sometimes do this. I'm playing a long piece and I'll think, God, I don't think I've breathed. I haven't taken a breath for about 3 pages. And then I think, oh, that's why I'm feeling nervous. And sometimes connecting with those sort of basic things can be quite transformative in somebody's playing.
Probably. I usually thinking of the breath before, like to really deep breath, to let everything loose, and even before you start playing, and then get into the piece, then during the piece, I really don't know when I breathe. It's just,
you forget.
I forget, but to the end, I'm like,
because younger players do that, don't they? Young players, they just sort of start. It's like, and you, I don't know if you've had that experience where like a 7 or 8 year olds like started a piece and they just don't really. There's not a clear beginning. It's sort of just like. And I guess the breath will help with that. Like, take a breath, and there's the beginning.
If you implement that when they are little to take and go, then it's a more
grounded beginning.
Yes, you start something. Like going and, oh, sorry, I was not ready. Oh, let's try again.
Tell us about your piano. It sounds lovely on the YouTube videos. You must get it. How often do you get it tuned? It sounds very good to me.
Yeah, it's a Petrov. I love Petrov.
Yeah.
I got used with them because in school we did have Petrov,
Yeah.
It has a lovely sound. It's a dolce sound. It's more mellow, but it's very hard on technique. It's not a light piano. It's
really?
Not.
Heavy.
Yeah, heavy. Yeah, to the heavy side. Yes. Those students that they do scales or something, they're like, this piano is killing me. It's killing me.
And you go,
like,
good.
Work your fingers.
Good. Yes.
That's why I have it.
It's good for you. Oh, Liana, look, it's been so good talking to you and so pleasant. I wonder if you hadn't had a career as a. It sounds like you've been in music for your entire life. Music's been a part of your life. If it's two parts to the question, but can you imagine a world where music didn't exist? And how would that world look?
No, no, does not, no, doesn't exist in my mind. It's part of your life. It's part of life because you talking with your heart. It's mind and heart connected. It cannot be a world just with the mind goes astray and just with the heart again doesn't exist because you need to have the analytical mind to work with whatever your heart is telling you. You know, your brain, it was given to you as a tool to use it for whatever your heart wants to do.
Yeah.
So you need to have them both. You cannot, yeah, music, no. It must be music. We even talking, like when you speak Italian, ciao, cara!
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
Arrivederci! They're
I
just
love it.
painting over there!
If you hadn't been in music, what would you have done?
When I was little, I was always fascinated about the brain. And I could stay even in the park for, I don't know, an hour or so and watching people walking for real. Yeah, I like to do that game with me. And it was for me, I don't know if it was a game. And then, yeah, I like to stay in the park and watch people and try to figure it what they're thinking.
Mm.
I like the human brain. It's so yeah, from emotional. So I don't know. I might have been a psychologist or something like that, working with people's brain. I like that. And then another thing that I like to dance. But
Ah,
this hobby I discovered in the 40s when my back was hurting already for too much staying on the
too
piano.
much piano. Yeah, yeah.
And then after 6 months of dancing, I do ballroom. My back was like, I don't feel like I'm like freezing, you know. So
Posture and
since
all of
then,
that.
yeah, posture, the waltz, and I love
Oh,
the waltz and Viennese waltz, and then the dresses and the glamour. It's fun, right? So I do like that as an hobby because it's still artistic, but you're doing it with your body. That it's, from the piano here, you're doing the music, and then, so this is me.
Liana, what an absolute pleasure. I think I've done 38 or 37 of these interviews now, and by far that was the most fun filled. So,
Thank
of
you.
all the things you've achieved, you created a very
Thank you so
joyous
much.
day for me. So, thank you so much. We wish you all the best of luck with your YouTube successes. We'll put a little link down below, and I'm sure people will follow you. Although
Thank
I'm
you so much.
sure you don't have any spaces for any more students. Or maybe you do.
Maybe, like master classes or so. I like to do master classes because I can come, it's like, with easy ideas and do this that immediately change, another pair of eyes, even if you have a teacher, because so even in Romania we were working with the main teacher, but once every other month we will go to another teacher because the other teacher will see things a little different because she did not listen to you every week. Sometimes you
Yeah.
say the same thing over and over, the student doesn't do nothing, and then you go to another teacher, that teacher is saying one phrase and then you click.
So a fresh pair of
Master
ears.
classes. Yes, master classes I'm always interested because they're fun, they're strong, and then I like that, for an hour and a half, and it's covered a lot of topics if you are confused. I'm open to that.
Liana, thank you so much for joining. Thank you.
Very much welcome. Wish you the best.